Okay, so today we are discussing option strategies. So we are starting with the first two option strategies, that is straddle and strangle. Okay, so when do we use a straddle strategy? Okay, so a straddle involves, let's first understand what is straddle. Straddle involves buying a call and a put at the same exercise price and for the same tenure. So what we do here, we buy a call and put both at same exercise price and we pay a premium for it. So obviously if we are paying a premium, right? Sorry, if we are buying a call and a put, it means we are buying the right to sell and right to buy, right? It means we have to pay an initial premium. So the initial premium, if you can see here, that is rupees 9. Okay, so the initial premium is 9 rupees, right? So here you can see strike price is 100 and call premium is rupees 5 and put premium is rupees 4, right? So the total premium paid here is 9. It means initial investment we have done of rupees 9. So the strike price is 100. It means I have right to buy at rupees 100 and right to sell at rupees 100. Okay. So now if you can see, there are different probable future prices, like future market prices like 95 to 115. All these prices are given to us, right? So let's see when we will be in profit. So let's first understand call gain or loss whatsoever. So here you can see that if the market price is rupees 95, right, you have a right to buy at rupees 100. Okay, it means market price is less and you have right to buy at rupees 100. So obviously you won't exercise it because in market it is available at a cheaper price, right? So here at this point you won't exercise your option, right? So if you won't exercise, your gain would be 0. Done. Then if market price is 96, again market price is less than your strike price, again you won't exercise it, you won't use it because this is your right, this is not your obligation. So here it is 0. Again till you can see till 100 you don't have to exercise your call option. So till this point your gain is 0 because you won't exercise your bid. Okay, then after 100, when the price will reach 101, right? So here market price is 101 and you have right to buy at rupees 100. So obviously you will exercise your call option. So here you are at profit of rupees 1, right? So this is 1. So from here it will keep on moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is your future, uh, your probable profits. So here your if the market price will reach 115, because I have skipped in between prices, right? So if the market price will reach 115, your gain would be 15 rupees, right? So this is your call gain. So the next thing we have with us is put. We also have a right to sell at rupees 100. So when the market price is 95 and you have right to sell at rupees 100, it means you have a right to sell at a higher price. So obviously here you will exercise your put option. So you will be at a profit of rupees 5. 100 minus 95 is 5, right?
Mom, during a put,
So here he is at a profit of rupees 5. If market price is 96, again he can sell at rupees 100. So again at a profit of 4, but the profit will reduce as you can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And after 100, he will not exercise his put option because the market price is greater than your strike price. So after 95, after 100, he will not exercise, right? So if you can observe in calls, he is at a profit when market price crosses rupees 100 here. he is at profit here, and in put option he is at profit when the market price is less than 100, right? So these two situations are quite contradicting to each other. So this is what we call arbitrage process. So that you buy two things where you can earn something, right? So now you have already paid a premium of rupees 9. This is already paid, right? So 9, now I have to see when I am at profit. So 9, I have already paid. 9 minus 5 is minus 4, because 9 you have already paid, 5 rupees you are at profit. So 4 is again a loss, right? So then again we'll minus 9 from each gain. So 4 minus 9 minus 5 minus 6 minus 7 minus 8, and when we'll reach here, if you can see, 1 minus 9 is minus 8, 2 minus 9 is minus 7. So you can see he is at loss, right, till this position, and he will be at profit when the price is at when the price will reach 115. Okay, here he is at profit. But if the market price is 85 also, if you can see here, if the market price is 85 also, he is again at profit of rupees 6 here, right? So what do we understand by this situation when we will use a straddle strategy in auctions? So the first thing we need to understand here is straddle should be applied in a situation when the market is highly volatile, you know, and there are larger gaps, because your strike price is rupees 100. So he is at profit when market price is either 85, 15 points down, or 15 points up at 115, right? So it means if you think the market is stable, right, and move around 100, then this strategy won't give you good returns. This strategy will give you good returns if the market is highly volatile, either go up or go down, doesn't matter whether you are at bullish phase or bearish phase, it doesn't matter, but the market should be highly volatile, then only you will be at profit. If you can see you are at profit at 85 or at 115, right? So maybe you are profit at you will be at profit if the market will go down, you will be at profit if the market will go up, but conditions apply when the market is highly volatile. You are not at profit if the market price is near to 100. If you can see, if it is 95, 96, you are not at profit. If it is 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are also not at profit. So the one or two conditions where this strategy can be used: first, the market price should not be near to your strike price, and the second condition is it should be, this strategy can be used in highly volatile market. But it doesn't matter whether you are at bullish phase or bearish phase. This conformity is not required. Okay. Okay, so here you can see a long straddle gains only when there is volatility, as I have discussed with you, and the prices go beyond the exercise price in either direction beyond the total premium incurred. So you will be at profit when the market is highly volatile, or it can go in either direction. Then the strategy which I have discussed with you is, this is a long straddle. You can apply a similar straddle strategy in short straddle also. In short straddle, instead of buying call and put, you sell call and put, right? So at times when you want to apply the strategy straddle, there is no call or put option available, because you have to see whether whatever strategy you want to apply, is it available in the market or not. So if buying option for call and put is not available, or as per the price you want it is not available, you can also go for short straddle, where you can sell both call and put, right? So this is short straddle. So it will apply in a similar way. Of course, you must know that here you will earn through premium, because in call straddle you were paying premium, initial premium, but here you will receive premium at the start of your contract, and the whole strategy would depend on the other person, whether he will execute the bid or not. Okay. Next we have strangle. So what is strangle? So this is identical to straddle, except that the call has an exercise price above the stock price. So in straddle, what was the case, that an arbitrator was supposed to buy call and put at same price or sell call and put at same price. But in case of strangle, the exercise price of the call would be higher than put. Okay, so let's understand the situation with the help of an example. Okay, so here we have the strategy. So here again we buy call and buy put. In previous strategy also we were buying both call and put. Here also I am buying both call and put, but in previous straddle what was happening, they were buying at same price, at same exercise price. But in strangle, call strike price is higher than put strike price. As you can see here, call is higher than put. Call is 85 and put strike price is 80, right? You are buying both the call and put, so this is the premium you have to pay. For call it is 3 and for put it is 4, right? So this is 7. So your initial premium, initial investment is of rupees 7 here, right? And the current market price is 82 today. Okay, let's move forward. So these are the probable future prices. As you can see here, from 75 to 100, this is given to you. So let's understand first of all call gain. So here the call gain is, so here you have right to buy at rupees 85. So till the time prices are not up to 85, till this point, right, you will not exercise your call option, because obviously the market price is less than your strike price. If in market it is available at 75 or 80, you won't exercise it, right? So you will buy it from market. So till this point you won't exercise your call, so here your gains would be 0, right? But once it will cross 85, for example here you can see it is 100, you will exercise it, because you will be at profit. Everybody in the market would buy at rupees 100 and you have right to buy at rupees 85. So here you are at a profit of rupees 50, right? So this is your call gains. Now let's see what is happening in put. So you have right to sell at 80. So obviously till this point, till the time market price will reach 80, you will exercise it, because you have right to sell at rupees 80 and market price is 75. So here you are at a profit of rupees 5. So this is your profit, but it will decrease 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. If the market price is 79, you have right to sell at rupees 80, you will exercise it, you are at a profit of rupees 7. But the moment market will hit, you know, 80 rupees, you won't exercise it, because in market you can sell it at a higher price like 81. If in market you can sell at 81, you won't exercise your put option. So here, from here you won't exercise your bet, it will be 0, right? So now initial premium is of rupees 7. This one you have already paid 7 rupees, right? So 7 minus 5. So 5 rupees gain you have already have. So 5 minus 7 is minus 2. You are at a loss of 2 rupees. Then minus 3, minus 4 and so on. So till this point you are at loss, minus 7, right? When you are at profit, either when the price is rupees 100, you are at profit of rupees 8, and if the price is 65 also, it means 2 less, you know. So here you are at a profit of 8. So again, in strangle also you can notice that you earn only when the market is too diverse, when the volatility is very very high. Your strike price was 85 or 80, so you earn profit if the market price is 100 or 65. you know so similar situation, when do we apply a strangle strategy? When again the market volatility is very high and your strike, and market may go in either direction, either bull or bear, but it should be very very far away from your strike price, then only you will be at profit. So this strategy again, in nutshell, what we have understood today, in with the help of these two strategies, straddle and strangle, that these two strategies can be applied: one, when the market is highly volatile; two, when your strike prices should be very far away from either going up or going down, right? Then you can apply the strategy. If you think that the market is going to stay, near to your strike price, then you will not earn profit, right? So today we are starting with the next option strategies. So the first one is bull spread. So bull spread, as its name suggests, this strategy is applied when the market is in bullish phase, okay? Or you expect the market to be in bull phase, right? So this involves buying two calls on the same stock with the same expiry, but at different exercise price, right? So a buyer of a bull spread buys a call with exercise price below the stock price and sell a call with exercise price above the stock price, right? So what he's going to do, he's going to buy two calls, but one call he will buy below the exercise price, below the stock price, and other he will sell the other call with the exercise price above the stock price. So this is going to be the strategy, and the strategy has limited risk. Risk is limited, plus profit is also limited. So whenever you do not take high risk, obviously the profits would also be less. So as the saying says goes, higher the risk, higher the probability of return. But here we are not taking too much risk. That's why the returns would be also limited. Okay. So here we have the situation with us. So we are going to buy call 1 and sell call 2. So the current market price of the stock is rupees 100, and the strike price is 95. This is your strike price, and call strike 1 basically. Yeah? So this call strike 1 is less than the market price. Market price is 100, so call strike 1 is less than the market price, and call strike 2 is higher than the market price, 105. So the price which is less than the market price, this is buying call. We buy this call, right? And the strike price which is above the market price, we are going to sell this call, right? So call premium 1 is 7 and call premium 2 is 3, right? So you are buying both the calls. No, you are buying one call and selling other call. So it means 95 rupees call you are buying. So you are paying 7 rupees. This is your outflow. This is what you are paying. And 3 rupees you are selling. So you are receiving a premium of rupees 3, right? So initial investment you have of rupees 4, 7 minus 3. 7 you have paid. This is you have paid. And this 7 you have received. Okay. This is what you have received. So you have paid more. You have paid 7 rupees and you have received 3 rupees. So your total output, your total investment is rupees 4. This is your total investment, right? So let's sort it out. So the first thing we are given is these are the probable market price, 97 to 115. These are the probable market prices, right? And let's see what call 1 says. So call 1 we are buying. So if we are buying, we have right to buy at rupees 95, right? So if the market price is 97, it means you have right to buy at a lesser price at 95. So this is a good situation for you because you have right to buy at a lower price, but everybody will buy at a higher price, right? So here you will exercise the bid. So your profit would be 2 rupees because everybody will buy at rupees 97 and you will buy at rupees 95. So your profit is 2, and hence your profit would be increasing after this every time because market is going up 97, 98, 99, 100 and up till 115, right? So you are at profit, you are in the money in all the situations, right? And the second situation is you have right to sell. You have you have sold a call at rupees 105. It means it is your obligation to sell at rupees 105,
rather other person have the right to buy at rupees 105. This is your obligation and other person's right, right? So if the market price is 97 and the other person has the right to buy at rupees 90, um, at 105, market price is 97 and the other person has the right to buy at rupees 105. So obviously he will not buy from you, he will buy from the market, because in the market rate is cheaper than the strike price. So he will not exercise this option. So here it would be 0, right? So till the time market price reaches 105, he will not exercise his call option. And if he will not exercise his call option, your loss would be 0, right? And the moment market price will cross 105, it will come at 106, the other person will exercise the bid. He will buy from you at 105 because the market price is 106. So his profit is your loss. He will be having 1 rupee profit because he is going to buy at 105 from you, rather the market price is 106. So he is at a profit of rupees 1 and you are at a loss of rupees 1. So from here you are at loss, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. So this is your loss, right? And your initial investment is already rupees 4. So we will see what is your total gain. So 4 minus 2 is minus 2, because 4 rupees you have already paid, 2 rupees gain you have. So this is minus 2. Then 4 minus 3 is minus 1. 4 minus 4 is 0. Then 4 minus 5 is plus 1. So this is, from here you will be having profits, right? Till here you see your profits are increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after 105, you are earning a constant return of 6 rupees from here. Like you can see 11 minus 1 minus 4. So minus 5. 11 minus 5 is 6. 12 minus 2 minus 4. Because this is, you have already paid minus 4. Right? So from here you are earning a steady return of 6 rupees in all the cases. So what a bull spread do with your investment is, after a certain stage when the market is going up. So one thing is very important, this strategy is only applied when you have an expectation that the market is going to go up in the future. Market is rising in the future, right? So after a certain point, when the market hits a point, you will earn steady returns, as you can see in the example, right? So this is called bull spread with calls. Okay. Now we will be doing similar bull spread but with puts. You know, it is not always possible that you will be having calls available for you. To apply bull spread, you must have 2 calls available in the market. One is to, so that you can buy, and other is you can sell. One should be below the market price and other should be above the market price. So this should be available in the market, right? Then only you can apply bull spread. But it is not necessary that such a bid is always available in the market. Such an option is always available in the market. So if such calls are not available in the market, then what you will do? Then also, you know, you have to apply bull spread because you have an expectation that the market will go up. But again, you have another strategy for bull spread that can be used with puts. Okay, so now we are discussing bull spread with puts. So what is the strategy here? As you can see here, buy put 1 and sell put 2. This is your strategy. In case calls are not available for you, in case of bullish phase, you can apply the corresponding strategy for bull spread, that is with puts, which says buy put 1 and sell put 2, right? So here the market price is rupees 100. Put strike 1 is 95. Put strike 2 is 105. So here you are buying this put and you are selling another put. Okay. So situation is same. The put you are buying is below the market price and put you are selling is above the market price, right? Because you are buying, you know, a put. So this 3 rupees is something you have paid. This is, you have paid I'm writing P here, okay, for paid. And second put you are selling, so this 7 rupees you have received, so R, this 7 rupees you have received. So your initial inflow, you know, in previous example that was initial investment, but here because your premium received is greater than premium paid, so we are writing it as initial inflow. So 7 minus 3 is 4, so your initial inflow is rupees 4, right? So instead of minus 4 it is plus 4 this time, this is plus 4. You are already at a gain of rupees 4. Done. So now let's understand this situation with the help of the example. So here you have the stock prices which ranges from 95 to 115. Now let's first understand put 1 gain or loss whatsoever. So you have a right to sell at rupees 95. So if the market price is also 95, either you sell to the person or you sell in the market, it's one and same thing. So you may not exercise this bid. So you know from day 1 this put is not applicable. See, because market price is rising, right? If market price is 96, you have the right to sell at rupees 96 in the market. So obviously you will not exercise your put, you will not sell at 95, so you will not exercise this put. So here in all the cases your put gain is 0, right? Then let's move forward for put gain, put 2 gain or put gain 2 whatsoever. So here you other person, now you are selling a put, so we will see the perspective of other person here, right? So the other person has the right to sell at rupees 105 to you and you have to buy at 105. So if the market price is 95 and he has the right to sell at rupees 105 and you have to buy because you are a seller of the put, so obviously you will exercise this put, right? So your difference is 105 minus 95, your put loss, because he is going to exercise this put, right? He is going to sell you at rupees 105, rather the market price is 95, so he is at a profit of 10 rupees and his profit is your loss, because for him it is his right and for you it is your obligation, because you have already received a premium of rupees 7 for this. So you are at a loss of rupees 10, right? Similarly, if the market price is 96, he has the right to sell at rupees 105 to you, where the market price is 96. So again he will exercise his put and he will be at a profit of rupees 9 because market price is less than his option price, his put price. So he will exercise his put. So here his profit is of rupees 9 but his profit is your loss, so minus 9. So similarly minus 10, minus 9, minus 8 and so on. So till 104 he will exercise his bid and he will be at profit and his profit is your loss, right? Till this point you are at loss. But the moment market will hit 105, he may not exercise his put option, right? So from here he will not exercise his put, so you are at profit because he is not going to exercise his bid. For example, the market price is 106, right? So market price is 106 and he has right to sell at rupees 105, okay? So obviously if market price is higher, he will go and sell in market. Why would he sell it to you? Because if he'll sell it to you, he will get lesser returns, right? So he will not exercise. If he'll not exercise, it's 0. And you know, then your profit from here, you are initially from step 1 you are at a profit of rupees 4. This was your gain, initial inflow. So minus 10 plus 4 minus 6, minus 9 plus 4 minus 5 and so on. So here you can see till this point he is at a loss, and as the market is going up he is at a profit, right? And you can see that after a certain point he is earning a constant return of rupees 4, right? So he is earning a constant return of rupees 4. So you know we have considered 2 examples here of bull spread, one with calls and one with puts. In both the cases the person is earning profit when the market is going up. Situation 1 says that you will earn profit when the market is going up. That's why we call it a bull spread, okay? So the first situation is When the market goes up, then only you should apply this strategy, right? Bull spread can only be applied when market is in bullish phase. And second important thing is to understand here is that after reaching a certain stage, you will earn a steady return. Like in previous case also, after a certain point, his returns were 6. And with puts also, after a certain point like 105, his return is 4. So it means once you cross the second bid price, the higher bid price like 105, you will earn steady returns. So, when you apply this strategy, your returns won't be very, very high. You will earn steady returns. That is why we say this strategy has lesser risk, but returns are also quite constant. You are not going to earn very good returns, very high returns. But, the strategy is useful for those people who are, a little risk averse and who wants, steady returns. So with lesser risk, you can earn steady returns. So this is the situation when you apply bull spread with calls and with puts, right?
So here we are starting with the bear spreads with call. So as we have discussed that a bear spread will be applied only when you have an expectation that the market is going down in the future, right? So it is completely based on your understanding of the market. If you feel that the market is going to enter in a bearish phase, then you can apply this strategy. And maybe if your understanding is not right, then the strategy would not be very fruitful for you. So particularly the strategy can be applied only when the market is in bearish phase or going to enter in the bearish phase. So here we will be first discussing bear spread with calls only. So here in calls you will be dealing with two calls. The first call is call with a lower exercise price and selling a call at a lower exercise price and buying a call at a higher exercise price. Okay. So here, yes, so here profits and losses are limited. If there would be profit, the profits would not be very high, and if there would be losses, losses would not be very high. So this strategy is applied when the investor is not that risk averse and not ready to take very high risk, right? So let's understand the strategy. So here you are given an example that the current stock price is rupees 100, right? And the call strike 1 is 95 and call strike 2 is 105. So the strategy says that, as you can see here, sell call 1 and buy call 2. This is your strategy, right? So selling call 1, it means you will sell the call for rupees 95. It means the other person has the right to sell at rupees 95, and you can buy a call. It means you have right to buy at rupees 105. Because you have sold this call, the premium you have received is rupees 7, right? And because you have bought a call, so the premium you have to pay is rupees 3. So initially this is your plus 7 because you have received it, and this is your minus 7 because you have paid it. So your initial inflow is of rupees 4, right? This is your initial inflow. Now we will understand the strategy. So for example, the end prices of the stock can vary from 95 to 115. These are the probable prices. So let's first understand the call from call 1 gain from call 1, right? So here we have to understand the situation of the other person because you are selling this call, right? So when would he like to buy it? For example, if the market price is 95 and he has a right to buy from you at rupees 95 only, it means whether he will buy from you or from market, it is one and same thing. So he may not exercise his bid, and if he will not exercise his bid, the profit he will not exercise his bid, so it means the gain is 0 or loss is 0 here. So here it is 0. But if the market price will cross 95 rupees, it becomes 96 rupees, then what will happen? He will definitely exercise his bid, because if he will go to market, he will buy at rupees 96, and from you he has a right to buy at rupees 95.
So here the other person is going to have a profit of rupees 1 and his profit is your loss. So from here you will be suffering losses like -1, -2 and so on, right? So this is call 1 gain or loss, right? So now let us understand the second call which you have bought. Now you have right to buy at rupees 105, right? So till the time market will not hit 105, you will not exercise this bid, because if market price is, for example, 98 rupees, if you can see here, if this is 98 rupees, so obviously you will buy it from market. You won't buy it from the person, because and in market it is available at a cheaper price like 98 for example. So you will not exercise this bid. So till 105, till this point, your gains would be 0, right? Till this point your gains are 0. But the moment market will hit 105, cross 105, you will definitely exercise this bid, because after that, for example, if the market price is 106, right, and you have right to buy at 105, then you will definitely exercise this bid, because you have a right to buy at a cheaper price. So from 106 you will be at profit, so you will exercise your bid option. So from here you are at profit 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and so on, right? And one more thing we need to understand here is that you are at a profit of rupees 4, right? So from in all the situations you already have rupees 4 with you. So this 0 and 0, in both the calls you have no profit, but still you have 4 rupees profit, right? So this is your total gain. In second situation, here you have 1 rupee loss and here you have 0 profit. So this is -3, this one. This is 3, 4 minus 1 is 3, your profit is 3 rupees, then 2, 1, and from here if you can see, so from here you are at a loss from this point to this point, right? But after reaching a certain point like this, your losses will become constant, right? So after reaching a certain point, your loss would become constant and it will become -6 only, right? So till this point your losses are increasing, -5, and after this your losses are constant, right? So this strategy first is applicable only when you have an expectation that the market will go down. See, the moment market is going up, you are suffering losses. If on the other hand market would be going down, then you would have been in a profitable situation. So the first thing which is clear by this strategy is, this strategy is going to give you profit only when you are in bearish phase. If you are by mistake entering in bullish phase and you have applied bear strategy, then you will not earn profit. But then again, if your prediction, if your understanding was not up to the mark, then also your losses would not be very high, because as you can see, after a certain point your losses are constant like -6. So this is a very strategy which is applied by a risk averse investor, because even if his prediction is wrong, then also his losses would not cross a certain limit, right? So you will be in profit if the market will go down. Even if your prediction is not right, market is going up against your expectation, then also your losses would be not very high and they will be constant after a certain time, right? So this is called bear strategy with calls. The next strategy is again bear spread only, but here we are dealing bear spread with puts. Like earlier we are understanding bear spread with calls, but here we are understanding bear spread with puts, because if you want to apply a bear spread, maybe calls are not available in the market, the suitable calls are not available in the market, then in that case what you will do, you will apply bear spread with puts, right? So what we are going to do if we have to apply bear spread with puts, a bear spread can also be carried out with puts. This will involve selling a put with a lower exercise price. So first thing is selling a put at a lower exercise price and buying a put with a higher exercise price, and here we would need initial cash outflow, right? So here inflow is not there initially, but there would be an outflow, right? So let's understand the strategy first with the help of an example.
Ma'am, but selling a put is a bullish sentiment, right?
Okay, so here we have the example. The stock price today is 100, and call strike 1 is 95. It is put, not call. Just a second. So I have corrected it. This is put strike 1. This is put strike 2. Put strike 1 is selling a put at rupees 95 and buying a put at rupees 105, right? Put premium 1 is 3 because you are selling, you are receiving rupees 3. And second is put premium 2, that is 7 because you are buying a put, it is at rupees 7, right? So you are paying this 7 rupees. So your initial outflow is rupees 4, right? So this is your initial outflow. Now let us understand the strategy. So for example, the prices range from 95 to 96. Sorry, 95 to 115. So let's first understand put premium 1. This is put, not call. Put 1. And this is put 2. Okay. So sell put 1, it means we will see other person's viewpoint that at what price he will exercise his put. So the other person has the right to sell at rupees 95, right? So if he has right to sell at rupees 95 and the market price is also 95 or above, he will not exercise his put because it will go and sell in the market. He can sell at a higher price. So from the start only, he is not going to exercise his put. So here, if he will not exercise his put, your loss would be 0. You will not have any profit or losses. So this is 0 in all the cases, right? Then the second one we have is put buying a put. It means I have right to sell at rupees 105. So if the market price is 95 and I have right to sell at rupees 105, then obviously I will execute my put option, right? So market price is 95 and I have right to sell at 105. So my profit is 10 rupees. 4 rupee premium I have already paid. My initial outflow was 4 rupees, right? So this is rupees 4 minus 4. So your total gain is 6 rupees in the first situation. And if you can see, you are at profit in initial case till the market has hit 100 rupees, and after 100 you are at loss from here, right? So this is a situation where you earn profit if the market is at lower phase, if the market is at bearish phase. The moment market will keep moving forward, you will be at loss, but again your losses would be constant after a certain point, right? Like it is minus 4. So bear spread with puts should be applied when the market is in bearish phase. And second, even if your prediction may go wrong, market is. So today we are starting with next option strategy, that is called butterfly spread. So let's understand when do we apply and how we can apply butterfly spread. So this involves the following. First, there are 3-4 steps which we need to apply here. Buying a call at a low exercise price. So the first thing we need to do is buying a call at a lower exercise price. Then buying a call at a higher exercise price. So you will be buying 2 calls, right? You will be buying 2 calls, one at a higher price right, and one at a lower price. These are the two calls we have, right? Selling two calls at an intermediate price. So then we have two calls we sell also. These two calls we were buying, and these two calls we are selling, right, at same price. Same price, that would be an intermediate price. That price would be in between this lower and higher price, right? So this strategy hopes that the price will remain within a steady range. So when do we apply the strategy? The strategy is basically applied when we think that the market is not very volatile. It will, move with between a certain range. For example, the current market price of a stock is rupees 100. So we assume that it will stay within a range. For example, 90 to 110, it will move only. It will not go below 90, or it will not go beyond 110. So this strategy is applicable only when you have an expectation that the prices will remain within a steady range. Okay. So here we have the strategy with us, butterfly spread. So for example, today the stock price is rupees 100, right? So we are supposed to take 4 bids here, right? One bid below the price, that is, see, as you can see, this is 95, right? Below the market price. Other call is above the market price, that is 105, and there is one more bid that is between 195 and 105, right? That is 100. So we have three bids available in front of us, three options available in front of us. So market price is 100, one is below 100, other is above 100, and the third one is exact at 100, intermediate price, right? So what we were supposed to do here, um, let's understand this, that we were buying two calls, okay? So it means I'm buying this 95 and this 105, right? So the call premium 1 is 7 and call premium 3. See, I'm not taking this intermediate one, because intermediate call option I'm selling. So first I'm talking about two calls which I'm supposed to buy. So call strike 1 is 95, which I'm buying, and call strike 3 is above the spot price. This is also I'm buying. So for these two calls, the premium is 7 and 3. As you can see in the question also given to you, this is 7 and this is 3, right? So if I'm buying two calls at 95 and 105, I am paying 7 plus 3, 10 rupees. It means I am paying 10 rupees. So this is minus 10, right? Then the strategy says buy a call below the price, buy a call above the price, and sell two calls at an intermediate price. So it means at rupees 100, I am selling two calls. So because I'm selling two calls, obviously I will be receiving premium, right? So premium for one is 4. Because I'm selling two calls, it means I'm receiving 8 rupees. So this is plus 8, right? So my initial investment is minus 2, right? So here your initial outflow of money is minus 2. This minus 2 you have already paid, right? So let's start one by one. First, we are discussing about call 1, gain or loss whatsoever. So call 1 is 95. You are buying a call at rupees 95. You have right to buy at rupees 95, right? So if the market price is 95, obviously you won't exercise it, because either you buy from the person or you buy from the market. There is one and same thing. So it is 0. But the moment market price will cross 95 rupees, it comes at 96. You have a right to buy at a lower price, that is 95. So you will exercise your bid and you will exercise your call option at 95. So here you are at a profit of 1. So from here, the moment market price will cross 95 rupees, you will be at profit and you will exercise your call option. So here you are at profit from 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. So this is call gain 1. Okay. Then let's first take call strike 3. You have a right to buy at rupees 105. So till the time market will not reach at 105, you will not exercise the bid, right? But the moment market will cross 105, you reach at 106, it means here you will exercise your call option because you have a right to buy at 105. So from here I will exercise my bid, that is 106, because I have a right to buy at rupees 105. So here, from here I am at a profit of 1, 2 and so on. Before that I am not exercising my bid, 0, right? Then now let's talk about this intermediate bid. So here I have to sell, this is my obligation, right? Because I have sold a call, two calls basically at 100 at rupees 100, right? So now we'll see when the person will exercise the call option. So he has right to buy from you at rupees 100, right? So and two calls, not one, two, right? So till market price do not reach rupees 100, he will not exercise the bid, right? Because the same stock or same asset is available in the market at a cheaper price. So he will not exercise the bid till the market hits 100 rupees. But the moment market will hit 100 rupees, cross 100 rupees, for example at 101, here he will exercise the bid. So when the market is at 101, he has right to buy at rupees 100 from you. He will exercise the bid, right? So he would be at a profit of 1 rupee, because from market he would be buying at 100 and from you he would be buying at 101, because he has bought two calls from you. You have sold two calls, so he will be at a profit of 2 rupees and you will be at a loss of 2 rupees, not one but two, double. We'll double it. So from here you can see the loss is -2, right? So -2, -4, -6 and so on. So this is your loss, right? Now we'll do the total. So from here -2 is already gone. So here in first row you can see 0, 0, 0. So this is -2. Then 1, 0, 0. This is -1, because 1 minus 2 is -1. Then from here it is 0. Then you can see here at this point he is at a profit. From where he is at a profit? From 97 to I believe here. Yes. From 97 to 102, he is at profit of 1 or 2 rupees, right? If you will solve it. So, if you can see, he is at a loss if the price of the stock or asset crosses 97 below or 105, 102 above, right? He is at a loss. So, he will only gain profit if the price ranges between 97 to 102, then only he is in profit. But if the market crosses this particular range, he will be at loss. So this can be easily understandable, as it was given in the situation also, that this strategy can only be applied if you know a particular range within which your stock moves, right? So your stock must move within a particular range, then only you should apply the strategy. If you do not know the range, then this strategy is not useful for you, right? So let's understand the strategy. This is box spread. So when do we apply the strategy? A box spread is a combination of bull spread with calls and bear spread with puts. So basically this box spread is a combination of bull spreads with call and bear spread with puts, right? So at the same exercise price, the box spread will always pay the difference between the high and low exercise price. However, the initial investment that is needed should be greater than the final payoff. So it means initially you have to invest a good amount. In a perfect market where the prices are correctly fixed based on the consistent assumption of volatility and risk-free rates, there will be no scope to enter into a box spread at all. So what are they saying, that when you should not enter into a box spread when the market is very less volatile, then you should not enter in this box spread, because box spread in itself is used when you want consistent returns, you want fixed returns, risk free returns, right? Then you should apply box spread. So but when the market is differently interpreted assumption for volatility, it means the market is volatile and risk free interest, the price can offer scope for a box spread. So you should apply a box spread when the market is volatile, right? So let's understand the strategy. What are we supposed to do in this strategy? So here again you are buying 4 calls here. Okay, 4 options I would say, not calls. So the stock price today is rupees 100. Call strike 1 is 95. Call strike 2 is 105. Okay. So call premium 1 is 7. Call premium 2 is 3. Then we have put strike 1, that is 95. Put strike 2 is 105. And put premium 1 is 3 and put premium 2 is 7. Right. So this is all you are given. 2 calls and 2 puts, 95, 105, and put is also 95, 105. Premium is 7 and 3, and in case of put it is 3 and 7. Now let's apply the strategy. What is the strategy? The strategy says buy call 1, sell call 2. If I'm buying this call 95 and selling this call, this is buy call 1 and sell call 2. If I'm buying something, I have to pay. This is minus 7, right? And if I'm selling something, selling call 2, it means I'm receiving 3 rupees. So this is plus 3. Okay. Then the second strategy says, the second part of the strategy says sell put 1 and buy put 2. Sell put 1, it means 95 put I'm selling. So if I'm selling, I will be receiving rupees 3. So this is plus 3 as it is given. See, the premium of put premium 1 is 3. Yeah. And buy put 2. So the premium for put is, second put is 7. So this is, I'm buying it, so minus 7. Right. So minus 7 is minus 14. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 6. So this becomes, our initial investment becomes minus 8. Right. Now let's understand the strategy. So first is buying a call at 95. I am buying. So I have a right to buy at 95. So till the time market price is 95, I am not going to exercise this bid. But the moment market price cross 95, I am going to exercise this bid, and here I will be at profit. So from here my profit is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Right. Then second part of the strategy says sell call 2. It means somebody else is buying and I am selling. So I have to see what other person thinks, right? So he has a right to buy at 105. So if he has a right to buy at 105, it means till 105 he will not exercise his option. He will not exercise his call. But the moment market hits 105 and cross 105, he will exercise his call option. And the moment he will cross his the moment he will exercise his call option, he will be at profit and I will be at loss. So if the market price is 106, he will exercise his call option because he has right to buy at 105. So he will be at a profit of 1 and I am at a loss of 1. So this is my account, that's why I am writing minus 1, minus 2 and so on, right? So this is buy call 1 and sell call 2. Now similarly, I will apply put also, sell put 1. It means I am selling. If I am selling, it means somebody else has a right to sell. So somebody else has a right to sell at rupees 95. Put strike 1, 95. So he has a right to sell at 95. So if you can see, the market prices are starting from 95. It means at any point of time, if he'll sell in the market, he will gain more, because in market if he'll sell, he will get better amount. So he will not exercise his put at all, right? So he will not exercise, so put gain 1 would be 0 throughout, right? Because he is not exercising his put option. Okay. Then the last one is buy put 2. It means I have a right to sell at rupees 105. So till the time market price is less than 105, I will exercise it, because if the market price is 95 and I have a right to sell at rupees 105, I would definitely exercise my right. So here I am at a profit of 10 rupees, because if I'll exercise my put and I will sell at 105, market price is 95, so I am at a profit of 10 rupees. So till market hits the price 105, I am at a profit. So 10, 9 and so on, right? So till here I am at profit. But after this point, when the market will hit 105, I will not exercise my put, because if market price is 106, I will sell in market. Why would I exercise my put option, right? So from here I am at a loss position, so I will not exercise my put. So here, from here it is 0, right? So these are 4 bids which I have, and my initial investment is -8. So if you sum it off for each day, for each probable price, the net gain would be 2. See here, for example, 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 10, 10 minus 8, 2. I'll take another random day. For example, here 9 plus 0 is 0 plus 0 plus 1, 10, 10 minus 8 is 2. So wherever you go, your gain is 2. That's why we call it box spread. If you want very, very consistent returns, of course the return would be less. Return would be 2 only. You cannot expect higher returns, because you are not taking any risk. So your returns are very less but consistent, fixed. So that's why we call it box spread, right?